Dawg House Podcast is back. We got off-season talk. Great return guest, Eric Boggs from the Ohio State Podcast and the College Huddle. He's been a great leader over there growing the College Huddle. How are you doing today, Eric?
Doing well. It's been a long day. I'm glad to finally sit down and cleanse my palate by talking college football.
There you go. We love it. Got a question. I know it's a little bit of talk on our end, and Kirby Smart talked recently, but right out of the gate, as painful as I hate to admit it, but I got to respect you guys, is the Big Ten the best conference in college football right now?
I would say it's at the top of the conference, yes. I believe that. I think top to bottom, there are still some pretty weak teams in the Big Ten that are embarrassing, and I don't know what it's going to take. Apparently, $78 million isn't fixing their programs because they can barely beat single Division I AA teams, right? FCS schools. So I don't know. I feel like the bottom half of the SEC is still like, if I was as an Ohio State fan, if you were to say, hey, you guys got to go and play Mississippi State, I would be more worried about that than I would playing Purdue, 100%.
Right. Definitely can respect that. Before I give a little answer, make sure to like, subscribe, share the Dawg House Podcast. We're going to have some great content coming up. Yeah, I mean, you got to give it to you guys. Michigan 2023, Ohio State.
Although that one has an asterisk attached to it, let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree. I know you love those guys. Yep. And then you guys got it 2024, and then Indiana, which I wanted to dive down, got one. So you guys are at the pinnacle, and SEC struggled in the bowl games. I know you can always blame it on people, opting out and everything, but it is what it is. I agree with that. You guys are top heavy, those first top 3 or 4 teams, and it gets a little weaker. And we're over here saying, hey, you're getting beat up in the grind, and we're going to 9-game SEC schedule now. So, but I mean, got to give you respect, you guys. And I've actually like kind of poking at the SEC people. I'm an FCC person, but got to respect 3 straight. It's a trend for sure.
Yeah, I think that I think Kirby Smart kind of hit the nail on the head in that recent interview that he did that really made waves up north about talking about the Big Ten. I think the coaching in the Big Ten has it took the better part of a decade to get here, actually longer than that. I remember when Urban Meyer took over, and he just dog walked the Big Ten and verbally dog walked them too, basically saying that this conference isn't serious. You guys are not serious. There was always this gentleman's agreement amongst the coaches in the Big Ten that as soon as a player made a verbal commitment, all the other coaches in the conference would no longer pursue that player. And Urban Meyer came in and said, that's not how I play. That's not how they play down south. That's not how I'm going to play. And it really made waves amongst the coaches in the Big Ten. And that was all the way back in 2012, 2013. So fast forward now, here we are in 2026, and you have a group of coaches led by Ryan Day, Curt Cignetti, in this conference that are elite. They are elite, and maybe some of that is just it's the next class of coaches taking a step forward with people like Urban Meyer and Nick Saban stepping down and retiring. That you have now a Ryan Day, a Dan Lanning, a Curt Cignetti joining the likes of a Kirby Smart as the top 5, top 10 coaches in the country, and it's raised the bar in the conference. Teams are spending more money than they've ever spent before. Obviously, that helps as well. Recruiting has become cutthroat up here, man. It is just it's dog eat dog. It's the haves and the have-nots, and it has definitely helped the northern schools in the Big Ten Conference elevate their game. I don't know how much bringing the West Coast teams in has helped. I mean, it has elevated as far as the level of talent, but as far as what I was just talking about with recruiting and things, outside of Oregon coming in and plucking a player, or USC coming in and plucking a player, we've been plucking players from the West Coast for years. So I guess maybe it's leveled the playing field a little bit, but I still think if you just take the three schools you just mentioned and the maize and blue, Ohio State, Indiana, and we'll throw Notre Dame in there, even though they're not Big Ten. They are a northern school. You just take those four schools right there. I think you're going to be hard pressed to find any four schools in any other region in the country that would be as consistent and as high level as those four are on as programs across the board.
Yeah, I do agree with that. I did want to ask, because Indiana, the losingest program ever 2 years ago, goes to a national title, which I'm still trying to figure that out. Awesome, by the way. I mean, mad respect. Are they an anomaly? And can Curt Cignetti and the Hoosiers be consistent and relevant in the next 3 to 5 years as a powerhouse, or is this just, unicorn?
Well, cool unicorn stories we've had in college football in our lifetime, right? You cited it, losing his program in college football in Division I. Curt Cignetti shows up. He grabs the microphone and really kind of turns the attention on his program by saying things like the first night he was hired, taking the microphone over there in Indiana at a basketball game and saying, Purdue sucks, which no, of course, that's their rival, so whatever. And then Michigan sucks and Ohio State sucks. And it's like, oh, well, wait a minute. Who are you, right? Mm-hmm. And so then he follows that up with Google me. I win, Google me. And it was like, this guy is either the biggest clown in the history of coaching, or he's got, he needs a wheelbarrow, one of the two. Yeah. Well, he needs a wheelbarrow because Indiana that first year did something. And we thought that was Indiana people were calling that the greatest season in Indiana history, going 11-1, getting to the CFP and getting beat by Notre Dame in the first round. They're like, that's the greatest season we've ever had. And he follows that up with the first ever 16-0 perfect season, national championship. And it's like, what did we just watch? This is nuts. I have been trying to say, what is the equivalent of that for the SEC? Maybe Mississippi State? Maybe?
Or Dak Prescott somewhere in there, maybe. Yeah.
I mean,
10 win. Well, I forget. That's Dan Mulliner, one of those. Yeah.
Can you imagine what it would be like on, the sports radio stations there down south? What it would be like on the Paul Feinbaum show if Mississippi State went 16-0 and won a national championship.
All right. Yeah.
I mean, that I'm trying to find the equivalent, and that might not even be like a good analogy. Like maybe Vandy, but I liken Vanderbilt to Northwestern. Like they're both really high academic schools. They're every now and then they're pretty good. They can get a winning season, go to a bowl game, maybe scare a few people. But it's unbelievable what he's been able to accomplish. And on top of that, I don't think they're going anywhere. Do I think they're going to be a top 5 team every single year? No, I don't think that that's in the cards for them. But if you watch the investment level that the donors have given, it no longer pays to be the Indiana basketball coach there. Yeah. Like they are no longer a basketball school. Okay, I just figured it out. It would be Kentucky winning it all. And that's what it would be. A basketball school, a blue blood in basketball, going out and saying we're all in on football and going and winning the whole doggone thing, and beating everybody's butt and on the way to doing it. So, yeah, there you go. I think Indiana's gonna be as good as long as Curt Cignetti is there.
Yeah.
Now, what's interesting about him is his shelf life. He's in his 60s already. So maybe 10 years, and then, he's reaching that 70s mark where usually the coaches are like hasta la vista. So yeah. I don't know. I think Indiana is set up, given their donors, the way their donors are excited, given how much money's just being poured into that program right now, to be competitive. And I think he's figured something out that a lot of other programs didn't, and that is how to evaluate the transfer portal better than anybody else. Hats off to him for doing that. It's not like he's pulling in all the blue chip recruits across the country. He's getting one or two, but Georgia's out recruiting him. Ohio State's out recruiting him. Oregon's out recruiting him. Notre Dame's out recruiting him. Alabama's out recruiting him. Like he's not even close to any of those schools when it comes to recruiting. It's all about evaluating talent via the transfer portal and having guys who have experience in college football on the field. Last year, you saw what it was like to have 4- and 5-star boys going up against 3- and 4-star men. Yep. And that was really the difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, completely agree. And I'm going to go back to when he started coming out. I'm a wrestling fan. He started coming out some promos, man. He was like big heel coming in, burying everybody, and he backed it up and got to give it to him. And him, whatever the average was, 23, 24-year-old, him putting that like culture together, development. I think him not practicing hard. A lot of these teams, even Georgia, Kirby Smart's been known to just beat the crap out of these bloody Tuesdays. I think he's running a different type practice where he can still work the guys hard, but in a small sample. Anyway, whatever he's doing over there, practice-wise, culture, putting everything in is working, and got to give it to him. So
absolutely.
And did want to ask, will Ryan Day be at Ohio State? Because I know every time you hear a head coaching job in the NFL come on, put his name out there. Do you see him being there for the next 5 years? Is he your guy?
Yeah. Here's a little inside baseball for you. Okay.
Sure.
My wife works for the school district his kids go to. He ain't going anywhere.
Okay.
Him and his family are, they are so plugged in with their kids, what they do, their schooling. RJ, his oldest child, RJ, will be a senior this upcoming year. He's the second highest ranked quarterback recruit in the state of Ohio. Wow. He has several Big Ten offers. He has Purdue, Northwestern. He's got an offer from USF, South Florida, Marshall, Syracuse, and Boston College out of the ACC have offered him. And then it sounds like to me he wants to go to Virginia Tech. If he gets offered, he hasn't got that offer yet.
Well, James Franklin.
Yep. We've had him on the program. He really likes Virginia Tech. It'll be very interesting what happens. But Ryan Day, I think Ryan Day is here for at least 5 more years. Okay. This is going in year number 10. He sticks around for 5 more years. He will be the longest tenured coach at Ohio State since Woody Hayes.
Oh.
So, you go back in time. Tressel was 10 years. Earl Bruce was 8. John Cooper was 11 or 12, I think. Urban was 7. So he's already outlived several of those. And he's only one more national championship away from putting himself ahead of Jim Tressel and Urban Meyer for national championships wins at Ohio State, and right behind Woody Hayes. Good luck catching him. He's got I think 5. So I think Ryan Day is going to be here for a while. I don't know that he wants to coach in the NFL, to be completely honest with you. A lot of people thought, oh, he's an NFL guy. He came from the NFL. He was only in the NFL for 2 years. He spent all his time in college coaching at Boston College before he ended up I think he was even on Florida staff for a hot minute there before he ended up going with Chip Kelly to Philadelphia and then over to San Francisco to be the quarterbacks coach there. So I think he looks at the NFL and he admires some of the things about the NFL, but I think in his heart of hearts, he is a guy who wants to be an influence on young people, and that's not the case in the NFL. It is truly, strictly a business transaction in the NFL. It's all it is. It's a business. And here he gets to do things on a much more personable level with young people and in the community, by the way, too. He does a lot of work with young people in the community through an initiative through Children's Hospital called On Your Sleeves, which is an organization that he and his wife helped organize, where they help raise money and funds for medical research and doctors and hospitals for mental health awareness for young people. So he's
great.
really big. He's really big on those things, and yeah, I just don't see him walking away from that. You go back 2 years, 2024, after losing to the team up north for a fourth time in a row, and the heat that was on him from this fan base was unreal. And he goes out and wins 3 games in a row, wins the national championship.
Yep.
And it was like watching it was like seeing it wasn't a monkey, it was a giant gorilla on his back. He threw up. And then the very next year, this past season, goes up to Ann Arbor and beats them 27-9, which, by the way, did you know they tried to cheat again?
What was it this time?
Did you hear this story? Okay.
Feel free to share.
This is good. Michigan people hate this when I start bringing this stuff up. So we're on the sidelines, and you start seeing a commotion on the sideline with Michigan staff, Ohio State coaches, and then law enforcement gets involved. And we're like, what was that? And then you notice the quarterback, Julian Sainz, starts running to the sideline, getting the play, and then running back to the huddle. Someone from Michigan literally unplugged the electric or the box that runs the communication devices.
Oh, wow.
And it was caught on film.
Wow.
I'm like, these people will do anything, won't they? I'm not saying that Sherrone Moore and Ward Manuel, the athletic director of Michigan, was like, hey, go do that. But someone who worked for Michigan thought, you know what? This isn't going well. I'm going to go unplug. But here's what's great. Ryan Day, he must have caught wind that they might do something like that. In the post-game press conference, or the press conference the following week, he was asked about it. And he said, you have to be prepared for anything. And then he goes, we kind of caught something that something was going to happen. And he winked at everybody and smiled. It was like, oh my gosh. He's ready. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. The level of shenanigans up there, man.
Yep, they're shady. Hey, speaking of that, did you have I know it was a whole terrible situation and everything, but did you have your popcorn out on the whole Sherrone Moore and everything going on? Were you just like this? How are you as an Ohio State fan?
Let me show you that we made an entire commercial about butter knives.
Wow.
And one of my people sent me this.
Oh, wow.
We have our own, the OHIO podcast butter knives.
Oh, nice. Awesome.
So popcorn, no, but boy, we sure spread our butter toast with it.
That's awesome. I know you guys are loving it. I mean, terrible situation for everybody involved, but I know you guys outside looking in.
It was drama, and I still don't know how in the world Ward Manuel has a job up there, given all the problems that athletic department has had. But I'll tell you, man, their fan base, it doesn't matter to them. None of that matters to them. The only thing that matters is the national championship and then the basketball championship this year. They think they're God's gift to athleticism in the NCAA. That's for sure.
That's right.